Peace, everybody. This is the unedited version of Steve Howe. Welcome to Ross Recording Studios. I'm Chuck. Welcome. Come on in. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And today, as I said, there's going to be Steve Howe. Tips and tricks on learning and playing Steve Howe. I've had this channel for 3 years. I have how to play guitar, learn how to play guitar, videos, Rockstar, it shows you how to play it, and I don't know, I never thought of saying anything about teaching Steve Howe. Duh. Number one is because it was so difficult to learn and play like Mood for a Day. It's like to try to learn and teach it to somebody would be like it's incomprehensible to me. How I learned it, I got no clue. That's incomprehensible. I was very young, 16, 13, 14. Like I said, learning to read music, learning to play Mood for a Day, realizing the staff had to be sharp the whole way, not just the one note. So I was learning it wrong. To see Steve Howe play it in concert, and I go, oh my God, I've been playing that part wrong. It took 2 or 3 years to learn how to play the song. You have to wait till there's no internet. You go to the concert, go, oh my God, I've been playing that part wrong. That makes it so much easier. And so Steve Howe is also, when you learn a Steve Howe song, it is it's satisfying. Like, when you learn to play E chord, D chord, A chord, it's all really cool and all that. But when you get a Steve Howe song and all of a sudden it starts flowing, it's like amazing. It's like, wow, it's like very cool. One tip learning Steve Howe, take it slow. I've been working on relearning surface tension. I learned that like a long time ago. I had a classical guitar given to me. So let's footnote that. I was lucky to have Steve Howe as an influence of my growing up playing guitar. At first, you see Steve Howe on Fragile. Excuse me. And Steve has all these guitars. Mood for a Day is classical on Fragile, but when I learned it, I didn't have a classical guitar, so I didn't let that stop me. And Steve Howe plays the steel string acoustic on Mood for a Day on Yes Song. So, okay, we're in. And he also plays 2 different styles. I don't know for sure if he uses a pick on the steel string or not. I have seen him do it without a pick on the steel string, but I don't know that for sure. So yeah, when I learned it, I learned to play it. And when I first learned it, I'd pick every note. And I realized in pull-offs and pull-ons, and a lot of the stuff is in threes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Playing guitar is simple. If you can count to 3, a lot of things are threes. G, C, D. A chord is 3 notes. Steve uses 3 notes. One, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So a trick to play as Steve is to go slow, and I wanted to specifically discuss the Ancient because after Mood for a Day and all that, my teacher that I had all of a sudden came over to my house and he had a gift for me. Okay, not this particular guitar, but it was a classical guitar, a nylon string guitar, and I'm rocking and rolling. I was like, what the hell am I gonna do with a nylon string guitar? Come on, there's no pickups on it. All right, I'm not that close-minded. Steve Howe played a classical guitar, so okay, let's try Mood for a Day on it. I've been playing that on the steel string, so And now you put the pick away too. So then my older brother was doing a little classical guitar, actually in like a real school, and he was doing all the correct finger picking. So I kind of, learned, dabbled in how to play it correctly. And after 20 years, I noticed Steve does a lot of things accurately, that he does a lot of things that I'd say it's cheating. He does so much with his thumb. I was shocked, and now I'm playing things a lot different. Instead of doing it with the fingers, he does all these notes with the thumb. Is that right? Is that wrong? Technically speaking, it's probably not the way you would get graded in a school if you were supposed to be learning it using your fingers. But who's grading Steve Howe now, right? And then your overall grade should be your ear, not really how you're playing it, because that's why I notice I can get such a better sound using my thumb after watching Steve do that I was blown away. So that's the final test, is not watching it, but how does it sound. So that's why I guess Steve uses his thumb more than the fingers, and the same I noticed, because I was always kind of weak. I could never get the technique right. I don't practice classical guitar every single day, so I'm sure a trained classical musician could play it as good as Steve with his thumb, or whatever. But I find that I can get a better sound with my thumb also. So thank you, Steve, for I wish I learned that trick earlier. And then when I learned the ancient, again, I probably learned the middle part on the classical first. So it's hard to go back to 1980. Okay, but what I do know is when I learned the ancient, I didn't learn the beginning first. I learned the middle first, because the middle is where I was at that stage. I was not anywhere near playing any of that stuff yet. Where the middle is two notes, A and C sharp. So that's why I say take it slow, and that's what I did. I learned one. That's pretty easy. And what I'm going to do is, this is just kind of a rant on video. I've got no way to add the chords to it, but I'll add these notes in another video, so anybody that's really interested in playing Steve can do so. Because like I said, he seems complicated. For example, in surface tension has a lot of stuff where once you get it, it's like, oh my god, that's like just a C chord. And it seems complicated, but it's C, A minor, G. You know all these chords. It's just picking two notes together. Yes, I know my guitar's out of tune. That's why this is a rambling video. And then he has this tapping in there. And depending if you tap here or here, gives a different sound where he. So he does this one tap up there in that part. Where if you did it the same spot, it just wouldn't sound right. And in the style of Steve Howe, Steve never does anything twice the same, ever. I can maybe name one thing he's repeated the same thing over. Where that's why Yes is so difficult to play and learn, because it's not just playing C, D, G. It's like he's always showed in there. So same thing here. When the next verses, instead of just going, all of a sudden he gets like sort of say serious. It's like you got the beginner class that I can play, then you got the master class. Oh, that's great. Yeah. It's so much harder to play finger picking on an acoustic than, like I said, when I learned it on one trick is when you do this part, make sure you don't deaden the string afterwards. You gotta do that and then reach your hand way around. I messed up that part. One part where you just have to do a da 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 da. Then back to the simple 2. And there's singing in there, and it's funny because on the tap, John comes in on the tap. So if I'm not tapping, I can't sing the doo-doo part. That's another tip. It's really the funniest thing. That was the funniest thing. So if I'm playing that part and I'm not tapping, then I can't come in at the right timing. So I don't think John has that problem. But that's, like I said, just tips and tricks to playing Steve Howe. Is go slow, learn things slow. One of the part I'm having problems with is on surface tension is, believe it or not, it's 4 notes, 1 measure, and that when I hit that part, it just stopped me cold for a week and a half, 2 weeks, because the way it sounds and the way it's played with open strings to get the right notes doesn't make sense when you're playing it, but it sounds right. So yeah, it's really funny how you can play the whole song and then so that's the part I was messing up every time. And that's where I stopped after 30 years. And I know, remember when you get to that part, it's fun as hell and it's not that hard. So, it's taking me a lot longer to relearn it than the first time I learned it. That is for sure. And I'm probably screaming and yelling because I'm used to yelling across the hall to the mic. And I'm right here now. So, that's a couple tips and tricks on playing The Ancient by Steve Howe. Hope you enjoyed my rambling on and on how I got the classical guitar. Actually, there is a little bit more to that story. The guy was a really cool musician that taught at the YMCA and became actually friends with the family, and he would stop by, and I went and saw him play with his band there, and those guys were playing like jazz, and it was like progressive jazz. It's like, wow, man, what the drummer could do with one stick just totally amazed me, and they were so tight. And then he brought over the acoustic. Like I said, I was learning to play Steve Howe. What do you do with a classical guitar? So thankfully, I listened to Steve before I got the classical. Otherwise, I wouldn't even known. It's like roundabout. It's classical. So that was very, very cool. And I think he paid like only $40 for it. So it wasn't a super great classical, but it wasn't bad. It played. I can't tell the difference between this beautiful LAV guitar there. LAG, no. I really do love this guitar. It's the nicest guitar I got. Even though I got quite a few of those electrics and the 12 string and double neck, this is still by far the most beautiful guitar I got. The finish, IYB is great in their construction, and that's where it counts. They lack in their finish ability, and that's alright, You pay $30,000 for a guitar, you're going to want the thing to shine like a car. That's not the case with IYB. You get an IYB guitar, the finish is great, but it's not super duper fragilistic expialidocious. So this is super duper fragilistic expialidocious. And it probably could use a little bit of polishing and shining with all the fingerprints that I've been playing. But yeah, the finish on this guitar, it's like a Rolls Royce. So this is the nicest guitar, and it is a lot of fun to play. Steve Howe, Mood for a Day, Ancient on it. I thought, and then I didn't have any other songs to learn. I didn't have any classical instructors. It would have been nice to dabble further into classical, but surface tension, that was in the book. Even with all the mistakes you make, that's G chord, D chord, D chord still, C chord, C major, G major, open strings, A minor, G, A minor. So I'll get this in tune. We'll come back and do a better video. And like I said, if you like Steve Howe, you can't learn him by yourself. Well, yes, you can, but it's so much easier and better to learn when you have other people showing you tips and tricks, because I can't learn him by myself. So I've watched YouTube a lot, and there's like one guy that's my favorite lead solo is in Perpetual Change in the middle there. He's got that beautiful ES 175D jazz sound, and I've always kind of wondered how, it's just so different. And one guy's, oh, it's all chromatic. No, no, no. It's like, yes, yes, no pun intended. It's chromatic. Uh, and that's how he gets the flavor. And, I was learning Starship Trooper, and I was playing. And my, stoner friend of mine, he hardly even plays guitar. It's like, oh. And I'm like, I've been playing it wrong, because that's the way Yes Complete had it. He's up here. So, I'm a knucklehead, and it's nice when you learn a new part. Like I said, I moved for a day where I learned it in Yes Complete, and Steve Howe had his collection book out, but it wasn't tablature. So yeah, I was playing it up there. I don't know why. And then I, watching Steve in concert, and it took quite a few years, because he does it very rarely. Plays Mood for a Day in concert. It's a rare treat when he plays it. It's like, great. He's always plays the cap. You can always count on that. So he's playing. Use it. I was like, it's, I want to go home and play Mood for a Day. So I learned how to play that from Steve in concert. Nowadays, I could have learned Mood for a Day in, instead of 10 years, I could have learned it in 5 years. Took a long time to learn Mood for a Day. And so that's about it. And then I actually threw in a couple. What Steve does is always there's something new when he plays a song. It doesn't matter. That's what's really nice about seeing a Yes concert. Heart of the Sunrise. There's gonna be something in there. Same with the Clap, Mood for a Day, 18. He always throws something in there. So in the spirit of Steve, he says main thing is have fun when you're playing music. Where I used to be so dead set to play everything exactly like Steve, don't veer from the path, but why? So I do one like he does, and I do one that's kind of veer from the path a little bit. I don't know if it's good or bad, but we do it anyway. So we're getting on 30 minutes. Peace out. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, to comment, and peace out. And hope you learned something on Steve Howe. And I'll try to do another video. I can actually put some chords up on there, and you can see I got Positive Grid in the background. That's what the Orangewood guitar is going through the Positive Grid FX Effects Mobile into the Fishman amp, Loudbox Micro, and the Positive Grid stuff is just on the screens here, and I got the Spark going to the shop maybe next week. Definitely the first of the month or second of the month. I should have enough money to get it repaired. They said it's between $40 and $90. I think probably what I did is it snapped the motherboard when that stupid mixer I bought had the wrong adapter in the box, and I think it snapped the Positive Grid out. So peace out.